Hey, Whaley from the Zombie Star, and I've just been playing Helldivers 2. That's why I haven't posted anything for like a whole month, but I found some time this week to read some comic books, get caught up, so let's see what we've been reading this week in comics. Alien for Marvel Comics issues number 2, 3, and 4, which brings an end to Declan Shalvey's Alien, which I think ran for 2 volumes, if I'm not mistaken. Issues 2, 3, and 4 closes the story of Sasha Sand, a member of a family of researchers who unfortunately come into a contact with a nest of frozen xenomorphs. But more tragically, a terrible conflict with the evil Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Under a false name, Sasha infiltrates the Weyland-Yutani Corporation to reacquire something that was lost to hers, but also manages to get some classic revenge. Shalvey's Alien is a really fun expansion on the lore of Alien that includes an extended look into synth behavior, culture, if you will, and even the extent to which they have integrated into human life. In regard to the xenomorphs themselves, the planet in which the story is set in shows a xenomorph variant that expands on the adaptability that these creatures are capable of, and further shows why the Weyland-Yutani Corporation considers a xenomorph to be the perfect organism in the galaxy, and will stop at nothing to acquire and control what it considers to be the perfect weapon. Artists Brocardo and Redman have been consistent in bringing some amazing visuals for the horror and gore that the Alien franchise is known for, but also the desolate, dilapidated environments that really help bring the story together. This is Alien issue number 4. Declan Shalvey's did come to an end. I think after this, it's going into an Alien Black, White, and Blood that I probably will not be picking up because I was really just wanting to read the Declan Shalvey Alien. This is probably my favorite cover of the 3. This was a lot of fun. Keep it in with Marvel. We also read Blade issue number 6, and yes, as the cover totally spoils, he teams up with none other than Dracula. More on that in a bit. Issue number 7 and issue number 8. The more and more I've been reading Blade, the more I've been falling in love with it, just as I feel it draws on and is inspired by what Wesley Snipes did in the classic Blade films, but also is just really getting me excited to see what we can potentially get from Mahershala Ali's Blade that is yet to be released. Still, I feel that Marvel's Blade has deviated in a way that has really helped grow the character of Eric Brooks, or Blade. For me, Blade has always been a one-man show that never met a rave full of vampires or a super vampire lord that he couldn't handle on his own. That isn't until he's faced with the Adana, a demonic force with limitless power that quickly shows him just how vulnerable he is and makes him desperate enough to seek help from the most unlikeliest of places, the one most recently being from Dracula himself. And it's really awesome to see them just kind of speak and kind of debate his position as a half man, half vampire, where Dracula pretty much just proposes that if you want to defeat evil, you're gonna have to use the evil that's within you. For 8 issues, Blade has had to partner up with some classic characters from the Marvel Universe, including characters like Doctor Strange and Marvel's Santana, but the one most entertaining and the one that I thought was most fun is when he actually had to team up with the Incredible Hulk in order to fight off some of these very powerful demons that seem to have been sprouting up all over the world. Another thing I'm really liking about this book is his one-liners, which is so like Blade, and without giving too much away, my favorite being is when he tells Banner, "We find the hive mind and you punch it really hard." Not you, the other guy. I just thought that was something that Blade would actually say. Valentina Pinti and KJ Diaz are awesome as artists, as they really bring a dramatic and mature look, which I think is really important for a Blade book. Also, the horror and violent elements that are pretty typical for a Blade film, but really works for the comic as well. This is my favorite cover, issue number 7, I believe. Yes. That includes the Incredible Hulk. This is really awesome. I think I always say this about the Blade book. I can't wait to see where this goes, as it's still running. Really excited to have caught up with Deviant from Image Comics, issues number 3, issue number 4. These darker covers don't really do well with the lighting. My store is still working on getting me issue number 2. I've read issues 1, 3, and 4, and still I'm able to put this story together. Written by James Tynion. This is easily becoming one of my favorite things from Image Comics. But interesting thing about how I've been reading this, I started reading Deviant issue 1 back in January, and I'm just now catching up with issues 3 and 4. Just to let you guys know that I have no way I'm going to catch up with weekly releases. It's just hard to sit down and read. Writer and creator of titles such as Nice House on the Lake, The Department of Truth, and Something is Eating the Children, children. Tinian is just really known for using really extreme plots and settings to tell really dark and twisted stories that I'm just a huge fan of. Deviant follows a young couple, Michael and Derek, as Michael descends into the twisted mind of a convicted serial killer that he intends to use for his next big book. The more time Michael spends with serial killer Randall, Derek begins to know that his influence is more powerful than what he'd like it to be, as certain aspects of their life begin to spiral out of control. One really interesting aspect of Deviant, it is a title that takes place in multiple time periods and brings to light real-life issues during the 1970s and the prejudices and hatred through ignorance and fear that plagued the gay community, and brings to light that these are many still issues that exist to this day. Feel for Tinian, this is a reoccurring theme, as there are always elements of the gay and LGBTQ community in all the titles that I've read, and really love how he brings awareness to these issues and weaves it into his narratives. Joshua Hickson, as artist, is using a very deliberate stylized look for the book, but a very typical one for a Tinian title through the use of the deliberate distortion, dark and kind of blacked out backgrounds. But for me, it is the eerie depiction of Randall himself, which really just helps to make him a very unsettling character. This is Deviant issue number 4. These dark covers just don't do well, but this is absolutely awesome. Of the 4 issues released, I've read the 3 and it is just awesome. I would recommend this for anybody. And that's all we have for this week in comics. I'm probably just gonna log back in Helldivers 2. Let's see when I can post another This Week in Comics. Let me know what you guys have been reading. Let me know if you guys have been reading any of these titles. Let me know what you think of them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all next time.